Greetings, traveler. I'm SnapJelly, and I get a lot of questions, and I get a lot of the same questions. I get a lot of the questions that are being asked to me over and over and over again. So I decided, you know what, I might just make a video about it, quickly addressing all of these questions. An FAQ, a frequently asked questions, frequently asked questions video. That's what this is. You probably read it in the title. But all right. Now, first, let me address the elephant in the room, which is where am I from? I get this question about once every second, about-ish, I would guess. This is really something that I understand. People, they hear my accent and they go, oh, I don't recognize that accent. Where are you from? Well, I'm from the Netherlands. Now, I would, want to propose something to YouTube if somebody important is watching this. Probably not, but whatever. I think it would be a good idea for YouTube just in general if YouTube channels would get like an about page, I suppose, and then the about page could have maybe like a specific details section that could show things like, for example, the country that the YouTuber was born in. That I feel like that would be beneficial overall to YouTube. I feel like that could make things fairly easy. All right, sarcasm aside. Next question. The next thing that people ask me a lot is, do you play dot game? No. Right? The answer is gonna be no. I don't play games. Like I have played games in the past, but like I played like Assassin's Creed up until Black Flag, and I didn't really like Black Flag, so I stopped. And what else? Like I played Skyrim, but I couldn't fucking find a fucking scroll, so fuck it. What else? Like I played some Chivalry Medieval Warfare. I didn't really like that either. I played some Rome Total War, which, alright. Like the only games that I really like, just games that I would still play now if I decide to play a game, are Age of Empires. I like that, and like Anno 1404, I like that game a lot as well. I think the last game that I played was The Sims. Sims 4. I like Sims a lot. Okay, Sims is fun. That's the quality of gaming that I have. Just keep that in mind. If you guys want to see me do a Sims playthrough, post in the comments. I'll make a separate channel. I'm doing a Sims gameplay, if you guys want that. Excuse my prepubescent voice crack. And people ask the same thing with anime as well. Like, not as much as games, but like people very often ask me like, have you watched blank anime? No, right? Like, again, I have watched anime in the past. Like, I watched Dragon Ball. I watched Bleach. I watched like half of Naruto, and then I got bored of it. I also watched Sword Art Online because people were always like fucking jerking themselves thinking about it. Like every time, no matter where you were, I would be like on a a super legal website watching fucking Dragon Ball or some shit, and then there's like this chat on the side, and people would always just whine about Sword Art Online, everything. Sword Art Online this, Sword Art Online that. It was amazing. And I watched it, and I didn't really like it that much, to be honest. I didn't really think it was that good. So I don't know why people like that so much. But whatever. I guess I'm too much of a casual pleb. I just don't get art, sword art, I suppose. Next question. Where do I get my swords? I get my swords everywhere. Right? I got this from Cult of Athena. I got that from Cult of Athena. This is a Regnier. I can't remember the brand of that. That was what's it called? The store, like Dragonheart, I think. But I bought it off somebody else for like 30 euros. Can't remember where I bought that. I think on an event. I got that from Celtic Web Merchant. I bought this off a friend who crashed his car and needed money and started selling swords, so I was like, oh, I'll buy one, even though I didn't really need it. I paid a little bit more for it than I usually would, but whatever, to help a friend out. I got these like online somewhere. I got this dagger, like on like the Dutch eBay, I guess you could say. I got this from Zwaartenvolk. This was a present from a friend. Honestly, can't remember where I got this, but you know, whatever. See, that's the thing. I don't really have one spot where I buy my swords because, well, if I see a good deal anywhere or sword that I like anywhere, then I would just buy it if I can afford it. And that's basically how I do things. I do have 2 links in the description of my videos. One is to Cult of Athena, which is a weapon site. And the other one is to Purple Heart Armory, which is mostly protective gear and like synthetic weapons and stuff. Both are really, really respectable. So you can get your stuff there. And they are affiliate links as well. So if you buy something from them through one of my links, then you support the channel. Basically, I get like 5% or something, maybe even less. I get stuff from them as well. I have gotten stuff. But not everything. I don't really have one spot where I go like, oh, this is the place where I buy weapons. I would get weapons everywhere where I could get my hands on them. So, yeah, there you go. This is a really mildly interesting video. There's honestly not that much going on now that I think about it. And the last thing that I want to address is something that it honestly surprises me how many people ask this, but it's people ask me if how much size affects your quality in fencing, like if you're a big guy or small, or like, and also a lot of people ask me like similar question, but about intimidation, like how much does intimidation affect HEMA? Well, okay, there are 2 things that are kind of connected, but slightly different. I would say though that intimidation in modern HEMA is not gonna be an issue. Because, well, your opponent might be big and strong and whatever, but if you just have proper equipment, proper defensive equipment, then you're really not gonna get hurt. I mean, of course, an accident could happen, but, you know, an accident can happen if you walk down the stairs. Are you afraid of stairs? You know, so that's the thing. Like, your opponent might be super big and strong, but if he hits you straight in the face and you're wearing a mask, then what's gonna happen is dunk. Ah, fucking asshole. Now I got a dent in my mask. You know, it's really nothing to be scared about. So in HEMA, intimidation is not really an issue, I think. It could be that, of course, if you're in a tournament and you have to fence against somebody that's really respected, like somebody that you know is an incredibly good fencer, then you might get scared a little bit like that in that regard. But then it's more about skill, not really size. So yeah. In either case, I would just say HEMA is most people, and I as well, view it as a martial art rather than a sport. You know, HEMA stands for Historical European Martial Arts, right? But it's a relatively safe martial art because you gear up, and if everything goes well, you don't get injured. So there's really nothing per se to be scared about, like what you see in MMA, because if you lose in MMA, then you're beaten to shit, basically. But if you lose in HEMA, then you got tapped a few times, and at the very worst, you get a bruise. So, oh no, that's actually not true. You can break a hand, perhaps, if you don't, depending on the gloves, you can break a hand. But you know, it's really not that much of an issue in that regard. And how much does size affect your swordsmanship? Well, technically it does, but there's really no benefit to being big and strong, I think. Because usually people who ask this are, according to themselves, people of large stature. Which, I suppose that gives you a benefit when wrestling. But the way that I feel about it, one of the reasons why I like HEMA so much, actually, is because you don't really need a specific body type in order to be good at it. There are lots of people in the HEMA community that are slightly overweight and can deal with that fine, and are some of the best fencers in the world are slightly overweight. Because, well, the thing is, really, you are gonna have to move your own body around, and if you have no issue moving your own body around, then there's no problem. That's the thing. If you get so big that it actively affects your mobility, then it's a bit of a problem, and you should probably try and perhaps lose some weight or gain some muscle. But otherwise, it's not really an issue or a benefit. I would say though that reach does benefit you if you are taller, and also depending on the sword. Like Personally, I find it with sabers, for example, to be very annoying if your saber is shorter than that of your opponent. With longsword, I don't really find it to be that much of an issue. Like I can fence against people that are both taller than me and use a longer sword than mine, or have a sword that has a longer grip than mine, and I don't really think that benefits them an awful lot. With longsword, same with rapier. If my rapier is, if there's a large difference, of course it's annoying, but if it's just a couple inches, then I don't really think it's that much of an issue. You need to lunge a bit further perhaps, but you know, whatever. It's something that you can deal with. And if you are just short, for example, then, well, you have one body and that's what you're gonna have to deal with. And if you are short, comparatively to the other fencers in your club, then that's something that you're gonna have to learn to deal with, basically, and that's just the way it is. I don't really think it's necessarily a bad thing. That's what I was trying to say. I forgot how to English for a second there. But like if you are really short, then yeah, that's of course annoying if you fight against really tall people, because then you probably won't be able to reach them. But on the other hand, you can get close, and you know, there's ways that you can get around it. It's just, that is your body, that's what you're gonna have to deal with. The only thing you can really do is try your best to be in the best shape that you can be, and that's it. You just fence, really. If you are able-bodied, you can just, fencing is for everyone, really. Anybody who is mobile and has 2 arms and 2 legs and can fence, pretty much. So, there you go. That's all I wanted to say in this video. If you stuck around this long, you might as well subscribe and also follow me on social media. Links are in the description below, and thank you for joining my quest, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Bye, guys.